Matt, what happens to CLO ETFs liquidity when markets go volatile?
So in a volatility event, CLO ETFs behave in a very similar fashion to many other asset classes. You tend to have a widening of spreads purely because there is potentially an issue with information flow or the information flow required to adequately price the ETF, or there may be sort of fast-moving markets based off news flow and the like. In the CLO space, we have had a couple of volatility events since some of the launches of the major CLO ETFs, and trading has been relatively orderly during that process. There have been a widening of spreads, but not anything significantly concerning to investors, and investors were able to sort of move into and out of their positions relatively freely over that period without too much disruption of the ETF from its fair value, which was it was the key concept.
Andy, what do you think the future holds for CLO ETF market? Where does it go from here?
So obviously, Janus Henderson has a long history in CLOs, and we're super bullish on the asset class itself. You only have to look at the success in the US for what we want to replicate over here. We very much are in the infancy, though, in European CLOs, and we're super excited for what the future is going to hold for the asset. We've spoken to clients non-stop, as you can probably imagine, over this time period. They are looking for how to allocate to their portfolios, and they're super excited for how CLOs will fit into them. There's obviously specific regulatory changes that are coming about in terms of Solvency II. So the insurance market is one that we're also bullish on. But I think just more widespread adoption. This is a relatively new asset class into Europe, but not a new asset class to investors. So being able to utilize the ETF for that allocation process is one that we feel that we're on the front foot for.
And what guidance would you give to investors who are looking to trade CLO ETFs efficiently?
Communication, communication, communication. Capital Markets is here to help reduce the total cost of ownership, and being able to have that conversation with a capital markets desk, with a liquidity provider such as Matt and his team at RBC, is super important for understanding the rationale for trading, the longevity of that type of transaction, and ultimately what you're looking to get out of the trade. So having that open dialogue with the necessary teams that you want to engage with is the most important piece. We're here to help assist clients in that process.
Andy, Matt, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care and goodbye.